And the Republicans in the House of Representatives, once again, are saying, no, the amount of money that the Centers for Disease Control can have to study the impact of gun violence, even though it kills about as many people as heart attacks in the United States and cancer, you can't study this. I don't get this. But maybe Bill Frady does. He's the host of the Lock and Load radio show presented by the Gun Owners of America. Gunowners.org is the website. Hey, Bill, welcome to the program.
Well, hello, Tom. How are you?
I'm fine. Why would you, I don't mean you in the personal sense, but y'all, the NRA in general, why would you not want our public health agencies to investigate the public health consequences of guns? We might find something really useful that could save some lives.
Well, I myself am not against it, and I'm not against the CDC doing it because they did it last year.
Okay,
that was either Executive Action 16 or 17 on President Obama's 23 executive actions that.
What'd they learn?
Well, and let me preface it by saying this. I'm willing to go where the data leads, okay?
Yeah.
I'm willing to go where the data leads. Now, this was the CDC report, Priorities for Research to Reduce the Threat of Firearm-Related Violence,
Right.
And it was released in June of 2013.
Okay.
Item number 1, and it's up and published if you want to go check it out. You don't have to take my word for it.
Sure.
Item number 1, armed citizens are less likely to be injured by an attacker.
Makes a certain amount of sense. Not a lot of armed citizens around there, but that makes a certain amount of sense. What about in a home with a gun where there is a history of domestic abuse? The probability of murder is 500% greater.
Well, for some reason they do not address that.
Okay. What about the suicide rates in homes with guns being dramatically higher?
They found the only time they address suicide in it is that the overwhelming majority of gun deaths are suicides.
Right, and that's
they did not for some reason, and I'm sure it's a mystery to me, as it is probably a mystery to you. They did not get into the. They did not. The only thing they got into as far as looking at trends, as far as that goes, is accidental death, which they say is declining. But as far as suicide is concerned, they didn't get out there and try to make any sort of correlation between guns being there or not.
Right. Let me just ask a question, one guy to another here.
Sure.
I've been around guns since I was a little kid. My mom was a pretty good shot. And, when I was 6 or 7 years old, I got a BB gun. I had cap guns. I never had an actual gun. But my brother, one of my 3 brothers, is very into guns. He lives out in rural Michigan, and he's got a shooting range in his backyard. He and his wife both, and between the two of them, I think they own 7 or 8 guns, handguns. And when Louise and I go to Michigan, we get together, Steve and Tam, and sometimes, some of my other brothers, and we'll either go to the gun range in Michigan or we'll go up to Steve's house and we'll do competitive shooting. We've been doing this for years. I got, none of us are hunters. I mean, but people around us are, and if they're going to eat what they kill, I don't have a problem with it. But what I don't get is all the hysteria. I don't get the fetishizing, these guys who feel the need to show up, with a gun on their hip and show that they're men. Are they compensating for small penises? I mean, I don't get it. What's the deal? I know a lot of these guys, and a lot of them, most of the guys and in fact, when I was a teenager, I grew up in Michigan, and I knew some of the Michigan militia guys, and
Sure.
Some of them are just decent, patriotic guys, but some of them are just over the top, and they seem to be the ones who get all the PR. What's going on?
Well, maybe I'm one of those guys. I have a lot of guns. I carry a gun every day.
But do you walk around where it's visible?
No.
I mean,
But I-
Tam
by
walks,
law.
carries a gun in her
Can't by
purse
law.
every day. I mean, she lives out in the rural area, and she's out, and she works in a vet clinic. She comes home late at night. I mean, and whatever. I mean, but she wouldn't wear it strapped on her hip.
Well, in my state, I can't. In states, you can.
Yeah,
And
but if you could, would you?
well, I'm sort of on the fence about that one. I don't want to alarm my fellow citizen that may not be their cup of tea.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to walk into a Starbucks and see a guy with a gun in front of him? I mean, it's a little intimidating.
The only problem I have with that, Tom, is that if I add a badge to the equation, it's okay.
Well, even then, if I walk into a Starbucks and there's a cop with a gun sitting there, I'm looking at that going, in fact, actually, I remember this is maybe a year or so ago. I was standing behind three people behind a police officer in a line in a grocery store, and some kid reaches up and grabs the butt of this guy's gun. Now, he was fast. He put his hand on that thing so fast, and of course, it was clipped in. The kid couldn't get it out.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is that if it was a determined person who knew how to pop a clip and pull a gun, it could have been a very messy situation. I just don't, it's a necessary evil. Our police have to be armed. Although, for a long, long time in England, for example, they weren't. But that doesn't mean that you and me, that we need to, at least in a way where it's visible and accessible.
Well, see, here's the deal. I train for self-defense. Having said that, I never want to use it.
Yeah, I
never
ditto.
want to use it. However, anything that I can do that will deter a crime to where I don't have to make that choice. And if I'm forced to make that choice, I will make it, and it'll be something that I have to live with for the rest of my life. But if I have to make that choice, I will do it. But any little thing that I can add to the equation to keep that crime from happening to me and mine.
Yeah, but it's not that dangerous a society we live in, Bill. I mean, I was in the middle of a war zone in Uganda. I didn't carry a gun. I got shot at, or people shooting all around me. But, carrying a gun, I'm telling you, in really dangerous societies, I've been in Darfur, I've been in South Somalia, or South Sudan, I've been in Uganda during the war. I was in Egypt when the week that Sadat went down, and there were guns everywhere. You carry a gun, you're increasing the risk you're going to get shot.
Not necessarily. I mean, in my state, I live in South Carolina. For the first time in a long time, South Carolina is being probed by the gang.
Yeah.
And we've just experienced a spike in violence. South Carolina's the fifth most dangerous state.
Right, but it's gang members killing gang members. They're not killing people like you.
Well, they shoot. We've got one in college town, Columbia, South Carolina. They like to hang out with them.
Hang on.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Bill, I got to wrap it up, but I appreciate the reasonable conversation. Thanks for dropping by.
As do I, Tom. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Bill Frady. It's gunowners.org is the website. We'll be right back.